Today's mug moment is from Matthew chapter 11, verses 7 through 10. When John's disciples had gone, Jesus began talking about him to the crowds. "Who is this man in the wilderness that you went out to see? Did you find him weak as a reed, moved by every breath of wind? Or were you expecting to see a man dressed in expensive clothes? Those who dress like that live in palaces, not out in the wilderness. Were you looking for a prophet? Yes, and he is more than a prophet. John is the man to whom the scriptures refer when they say, 'Look, I am sending my messenger before you, and he will prepare your way before you.'" Jesus takes the opportunity to talk to the crowd about John the Baptist. He explains that John is a prophet. When we think of the word prophet, we often assume that it means someone who foretells the future. And I often think of those supermarket tabloids that would have sensational headlines. I never bought them, but I sometimes remember trying to mentally take note of a few of them, just to remember 6 months later that none of it had happened. Biblical prophets, however, spent most of their time calling the people to repent from their sins and return to worshiping God. Much of their foretelling of the future was like what your math teacher says, "If you don't do your homework, you'll fail the next test." Just the normal consequence of a repeated action. Jesus was contrasting the message and actions of John, who was calling the people to repent, with the actions of the rulers and priests who were corrupt and living indulgent lives. He quoted Malachi chapter 3, verse 1 to further certify John's role as a prophet. We are called to repent and to turn to God too. Spend time today praying for God's forgiveness and that he would enable you to follow him.